Yes, that's enough. I want to welcome everyone to this lesson. This is sorry for that interruption. There was a little bit of noise here. So I want to welcome everyone to this lesson. We are going to have literacy 1, that is primary 3. So last time, so for those of you who may not be knowing me, this is Teacher Ben Olepor. So I'm going to be handling, as usual, literacy. So last time we talked about sanitation, and we were able to complete everything that we wanted to discuss under sanitation. So today we are going to introduce a new topic. We are going to introduce a new topic. Teacher Jesse, that noise is coming up to here. Okay. We are going to introduce a new topic, and that is the plants. It's a new topic and it is quite wider. We need the maximum attention so that we can move on systematically. I was so surprised to hear people speaking. I didn't start anything. I had not started speaking, but people were saying, I can't hear you. I can't. I was surprised. I was just listening. So we need to be patient, and every time we want to speak, good manners always state for us our strategies and policies here. If you want to speak, please raise up your hand. Don't just say like that. It is a class. There must be order. You must have ways of work. So if you're to speak, make sure you raise up your hand. And then they will give you opportunity to speak. So before we start, I see someone, John Baptist, has raised his hand. Please, can you share with us what you want to say?
I just wanted to say good afternoon.
Okay, that's good. I already greeted everyone, and it was okay. Even though you don't respond, still I know that you have said good afternoon. So thank you so much. And also, if you want to say good afternoon, you can utilize the chat, and that's it. So we need to move straight away to what we intend to look at today. Today we are going to talk about plants. What are plants? What are plants? Some people were still asking questions, saying that I can't see your screen. Please, it could be network. If you have poor internet, it can affect you like that. If you have poor internet, it can happen that you may not be able to hear me. So I was saying that what are plants? So please, let's try to utilize the chat, and then we shall be able to speak. Use the chat. If you know something about plants, let us know. Yes, Asante has given us a view. Thank you. I'm still waiting for the rest. What are plants? Asante has given, but she has not completed. You need to complete that answer. It is true. They are living things.
Teacher.
Please raise up your hand and keep quiet. I will ask you to speak when necessary. When necessary, I will ask you to speak. Like I see someone's hand up. Okay, Maurice, you want to speak. What is that? What is it?
Teacher, our teacher was the first to write my answer, and Santa has copied me.
Yeah, but I didn't see yours. I saw for Santa. I've seen. So you must send your answer. You
I
send your
sent
answer.
it.
You have to send your answer, and I will see. I'm going to check it. So let's move on. I see Vedant is also raising her hand up. Please, can you speak to us?
Yes, sir.
Sorry?
Yes, sir.
Can you speak up? I see your hand up. Maybe you want to speak to us.
Plants are living organisms that cover much of the land of planet Earth.
Oh, thank you for your answer. The answer is correct, but the way you're speaking as if you're reading from somewhere and even reading not in the right way. So you need to be able to read. So I wanted everyone to write their answer in the chat. Like I see here, there are people who have submitted their answers. I'm going to read their answers to credit them. Vedant gave the answer. The answer is correct. The answer is correct. Kiden also has given us the answer, and it is correct. Thank you. We have Vedant, I said the answer is correct. We have Cabrera also has given us hers, but the way she has given is almost giving the uses, but still the answer is correct. We have Stefan, and Dennis. We can also mark it correct. We can also mark it correct. So thank you so much for those who have been able to give their answers correctly. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's move on. This is what I said about plants. I see some people have raised their hands. So this is something small that you can say about plants. You can simply say plants are living things that grow on the earth's surface. Living things that grow on the earth's surface. As simple as that. So this is what you can simply say about plants. So when you look at plants, you get to realize that these ones are classified into two groups. They are classified into two groups where we have, so maybe I will ask you, what are these groups? Groups of flowering, groups of plants. Groups of plants. If you know the answer, please write the answer in the chat. Groups of plants. Groups of plants. Groups of plants. Put your answer in the chat. Groups of plants. Groups of plants. There are basically two groups of plants. Please write your answer in the chat. Asante, good answer. Asante, good answer. We say there are two groups of of plants. There are two groups of plants. Stefan and Dennis have also given theirs. That is very, very correct. Joella, good answer. Cabrera, good answer. As simple as that. So we all need to know that there are basically two different groups of plants. Everyone has given a correct answer. Martina, Rana, Evelyn, and so many other people. They have given correct answer. Manuela, I see, good answer. So we have two different groups of plants. That is to say, we have the flowering plants and the non-flowering plants. We have the flowering plants and the non-flowering plants. As simple as that. So this is what we need to know. Flowering and non-flowering plants. As simple as that. So after that, we also need to know what flowering plants are. We are going to look at these groups of flowering plants one by one. In P4, we shall again look at plants in primary 4. But in P3, we also look at plants, but not in details. In P4, we shall look at again. And then in P6, we shall look at plants in details. As simple as that. So today, we are going to specifically look at flowering plants. What are flowering plants? What are flowering plants? Please get me your answer in the chat. What are flowering plants? I see Rena's hand is up. Rena, can you give us the answer? What are flowering plants? Or Rana? The Vedant Rana?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. What are flowering plants?
Such plants with reproductive organs are known as flowering plants.
Can you repeat your answer?
Flowering plants are such plants with
Okay, in the chat, we have other people who have given us the answer. Martina, very good. Harmony, very good. Manuela, very good. Who else? Okay. Vedant also wrote the answer in the chat. She said that such plants with reproductive organs are known as flowering plants, as simple as that, because they are able to bear flowers. The answer is correct, but I want you to be straight and simply say, give these answers these friends of ours have given us. Like we can see, these others have simply said that flowering plants are plants that produce or reproduce by means of flowers or that bear flowers. Martina said these are plants that bear flowers, and it is correct. If you can simply say that, Rana, if you can simply say that, it is very, very correct. Very, very correct. Harmony also gave us the same answer, and it is very correct. After giving the answer, please put down your hand so that I know. I see Cabrera's hand is up. I don't know if she has something to say. Cabrera, you have something to say? Cabrera? I see your hand up, and even Asante.
Yes, please, teacher.
Yes, I see your hand up, Cabrera. Anything to say?
Yes, teacher, I wanted to ask, what are non-flowering plants?
Oh, that's good. We are going to look at non-flowering plants just after looking at flowering plants. It's good that we have finished knowing what flowering plants are. Flowering plants are plants that bear flowers, as simple as plants which bear flowers. So you can use any of these words. You can simply say plants that bear flowers or plants which bear flowers. You can say which or that. All can work. Flowering plants are plants which bear flowers. As simple as that. So you must be able to know this word bear. If you cannot use that word bear, you simply use the word produce. That produce flowers, or that reproduce by means of flowers. As simple as that. So we also need to move on and look at the examples. Examples of flowering plants. Examples of flowering plants. These ones are very many. We have very many examples of flowering plants. We have very many examples of flowering plants. Now, I want us to utilize the chart and give as many examples as you can. If you can give 3 examples, you can give in the chart. So let's give the examples of flowering plants. Those plants that bear flowers. All of us live in the environment. And when you look out the environment, you will see very many flowering plants. Plants that bear flowers. So can you give us the examples of those plants? Examples of flowering plants. Just use the chart. I will be able to read the answers there in the chart. Just use the chart. Examples of flowering plants. Okay, let me start. Is Brian, Bobby B. Brian has given 2. Good. Very good. Stefan has given also 1. Stefan and Dennis. Good. Martina. Very good. Asante. Very good. Cabrera. Very good. Who else? Okay, I'm waiting for others. We have very many, so let's give the examples. There are very many examples of flowering plants. Those plants that reproduce by means of seeds or that bear flowers. Those plants that bear flowers. Yes, Joella, good answer. Morris, good answer. Martina, good answer. Ruth, good answer. Harmony, good answer. Oh, I see someone is not able to see my screen. Okay. Someone is not able to see my screen. Who could? Okay. Are you still not able to see my screen?
I'm not able to see your screen.
Okay, listen. We are going to see what to do. Vedant has given us very many. Thank you so much. Very good answers. For those of you who are speaking, I see here John Baptist. Please don't speak. Don't speak, keep your microphone mute. As simple as that. So those who are not able to see my screen, let me stop sharing and then I will share again.
Hello.
So that you can easily see. So we are talking about the examples of flowering plants, and everyone has been able to give what they know. Rana has given us very many, over 6 of them. You will still see them in the chart. You will see them in the chart. All of them are flowering plants. They are flowering plants. So let's move on. Even me, I noted some few of them, and one of them that I noted is maize. It's one of the non-flowering plants. We also have beans. It's good that most of you also talked about it. We also have groundnuts. We also have tomatoes, and most of you talked about it. We have peas. We also have mango plant. Most of you talked about it. Avocado plant. And we also have the orange plant. The orange plant. So for me, I was able to list down a few examples of flowering plants, and these are the ones, but there are very many. There are very, very many. John Baptist, stop playing with our screen. There are very, very many examples of the flowering plants. Just as most of you have given, some were giving 2 and more answers. That's good. You must be able to give very many answers so that when we ask you, you don't struggle. Like Rana has done, it's a good sign. It's a good sign, as simple as that. So let's move on. We also need to look at the non-flowering plants because someone asked us about non-flowering plants. What are non-flowering plants? So we need to understand what non-flowering plants are. But before we look at that, we also have the banana plant, which I also included here. It is also one of the plants. The other thing that you need to know about plants is plants make their own food. Plants make their own food. All those plants you see, they make their own food. Nobody feeds them. They make their own food. Unlike animals, animals need food. Animals get their food from plants and other animals. But for plants, they make their own food. In P4, we shall get to know how these plants are able to make their own food. We shall look at that process, which enables these plants to make their own food. We shall look at the conditions which enable these plants to make their own food. As simple as that. So, but for now, we are only looking at flowering plants. We have got to know that these are plants which bear flowers. And we have looked at a few examples, and these are the ones we have talked about: maize, beans, groundnuts, tomatoes, peas, mango plants, avocado plant, orange plant, and then we have the banana plant. As simple as that. We have others that we have not mentioned here. They are very, very many. As simple as that. So let's talk about the non-flowering plants. What are non-flowering plants? What are non-flowering plants? Now that we have very many, we need to utilize the chart. Very many, some people have already given their answers. Rana has given us has. That's good. We have Morris. I need the answer. Rana still added another. And I love this second answer.
Plants which don't bear flowers.
Good answer. Bobby Bryan, good answer. I expect everybody to be knowing this because the non-flowering plants, the non-flowering plants, these ones are just the opposite of flowering plants. If the flowering plants, please listen, if the flowering plants are able to make their own food, what about the non-flowering plants? It means, if the flowering plants do bear flowers, what about the non-flowering plants? It means that the non-flowering plants do not bear flowers. And this is exactly everyone who has given the answer did well, and he has given us a very good answer. As simple as that. Oh, the runner has gone ahead and even given us these examples. I think runner learned these things some time back. Exactly what we have here, those are the examples of the non-flowering plants. So we say that non-flowering plants are plants which do not bear flowers, and that's it. As simple as that. That is that. As simple as that. So we have Harmony has also given us a good answer. Stefan, good answer. Bobby, good answer. There are still other people who have given us a good answer. And the others like, Rana, I already talked about her. As simple as that. So let's move on to the example. So rather, let's take a look at what I said here. Short answer. I just said short answer are plants which do not bear flowers. Those are the non-flowering plants. Guys who are playing around with my screen, I will put you out of this lesson. I don't want to see that. Can you stop that? Very fast. I will put you off. I want people who concentrate, looking at the screen, seeing what we are discussing, and answering questions, not playing with the screen, writing there things that are not needed. So we are talking about the non-flowering plants. And we said that these are plants which do not bear flowers. As simple as that. These ones do not bear flowers. Let's take a look at the examples. Examples of non-flowering plants. There are very many. Very, very many. But we are going to give a few of them, just very few. We shall give just very few. But Rana has already given very many of them, but we shall give a few examples of non-flowering plants. In primary 4, we shall look at this once more. We shall look at plants again in details. Then again in P6, we shall look at it in a much detailed way in P6. But it's very important for you to know this because even in P6, we still ask you to give the examples of non-flowering plants, to define flowering plants, to give the examples of flowering plants, to give the definition of flowering plants, like that. So it's very, very important that you learn this now, so that when it reaches that time, you're just able to move systematically. Non-flowering plants. Examples of non-flowering plants. So all these ones that Rana has given are correct. Cabrera, good answer. Bobby Bryan, this one is not correct. The toadstools are not under non-flowering plants. Toadstools are in a group of fungi. That is fungi kingdom. It is not under plants. So the toadstools are not non-flowering plants. I see even another person. Another person is Martina has also said mushroom. Even mushroom is not a non-flowering plant. So it is not even a plant. Mushrooms are not plants. They are also under fungi kingdom. In P6, we shall look at fungi kingdom in details. We shall look at fungi kingdom in details. And then Wakayenja Morris, good answer. Very good answer. We have the conifers. Though with the conifers, they are non-flowering plants. But the non-flowering plants which reproduce by means of seeds, again in primary 4, we shall look at those classification because the non-flowering plants are grouped into two. There are those that reproduce by means of spores, and then there are those ones that reproduce by means of seeds. So in P4, we shall look at that classification. But for now, we can generalize them. Asante, tomatoes are not non-flowering plants. Okay. Maurice has talked about the cactus. Maybe that one we can.
Nja kukuba gwe.
You can.
Speaking while talking is bad.
Okay, let's continue. That was my internet. It was a little bit disturbing. So we are talking about the examples of non-flowering plants, and you have been able to give these examples. I see most of you have given the answers in the chat, and that's very good. So for me, I listed a few of them, and here are they. The first one is fans. We have fans. The other one is conifers. Someone talked about it. We also have Moses. The problem with this answer here, some children write as the name, Moses. And when you write as a name, it means that you will use single S. If you put single S, that one is a name, and we shall just mark it from. So you have to say Moses. You have to say Moses with S. And then the other one is liverworts. Liverworts. Among others, there are very many, like the Vedant told us, there are very, very many examples of the non-flowering plants. But for now, I want you to have only these ones. But there are very many. There are very many. You can have these ones. But when we go to P4, we shall still add more. Even in P6, we shall add you more, because we shall still be learning this topic up to primary 6. Simple as that. So this is what you need to know about the examples of non-flowering plants. We also have others like algae. We have algae, we have lichen, and the others. Plus the other examples. When you break down the conifers, there are very many. We have the pine, eucalyptus, cypress, and many, many others. So we shall get to know that in primary 6, as simple as that. So those are a few examples of non-flowering plants that do not bear flowers. So let's move on to another thing that is very interesting, that because you know it, that is characteristics of plants. Characteristics of plants. This will be our last part. Characteristics of plants. Characteristics of plants. These ones are very many also. These ones are very, very many. Can we give these characteristics of plants? If you can give the characteristics of plants, please give them. Harmony, good answer. Very good. Another person. There are many characteristics of plants. This will be the last part that we shall be talking about. Oh, Rana has given almost all again. Thank you so much, Rana. Thank you so much. Harmony has added another. Good answer. Stefan, good answer. Another one. I see the rest of the people. Safia is here. Roshan is here. Sherry is here. I'm not seeing their answers. What are you doing? George is there. I'm not seeing. The rest at least have participated. I want answers from Roshan, Sherry, Grace, George. Please give us the characteristics of plants. Joella, good answer. Asante, good answer. Vedant Rana is still, Vedant Rana has gone ahead. We shall learn that in people. About photosynthesis, we shall look at.
To teach, teacher.
Morris, we are still moving on. We are still moving on. So if you want to speak, please raise up your hand. If you want to speak, just raise up your hand. So I'm still asking guys to give the answers. Sherry finally gave us the answer and it is very correct. Safia, good answer. Martina, good answer. Asante, good answer. Some of the things that Rana is talking about, respiration, we shall talk about more in details in P6, and autotrophic nutrition, we shall also look at it in primary 5. Shall look at that very, very well. But for now, we are strictly looking at the plants and not in details. In P6, we shall look at the detailed part of it. As simple as that. So these are the characteristics of plants that I have already given here. I see George's hand up. Please, George, can you say something? Yes, George, you first unmute, then you speak.
Plants give fresh air.
Oh, okay. She wanted to just give us the answer, but I had asked everyone to type in the chat, but thank you. Let me give these people who have raised their hands to speak. Vedant. Vedant, I see your hand up. Rana, I see your hand up. Okay. Morris, I see your hand up. Please say something if there is something. If there is a question. And if there is no question, then let's move on to what we are talking about. We are looking at the characteristics of plants, and most of you have been able to give the characteristics of plants. That plants do grow, plants feed, and so on. So let's take a look. Even me said plants grow, they reproduce, which is true. They feed, which is true. They breathe. They excrete. And then they excrete, and then that. So in primary 6, we shall look at the general characteristics we shall look at the general characteristics of living things. But for now, these are the characteristics of plants that we have managed to give. We say they grow. This word they is just a proper noun that we use on behalf of plants. So instead, if you don't want to use the word they, you can simply say plants grow, plants reproduce, plants feed, plants breathe, plants excrete, and so on. As simple as that. So this is basically what we wanted to talk about. We started with the plants, and it is a new topic that we introduced to them. We say that plants are living things that grow on the earth's surface. We went ahead and talked about the groups of plants, where we agreed that there are two groups of plants, that is to say, flowering plants and non-flowering plants. We also went ahead and gave the meaning of the word flowering plants. And we say that flowering plants are plants which bear flowers. We also went ahead and we listed the examples of flowering plants, where everybody was able to give these examples. We also went ahead and discussed the meaning of the words non-flowering plants. We said that non-flowering plants are plants which do not bear flowers. And we were able to give a few examples of non-flowering plants. We talked about the ferns, the conifers, mosses, liverworts, the algae, lichen, and many others. And some of those, we didn't even note them down. But they are very, very many. And I was very happy that you were able to mention even more and more that we have not even included here, but they are very correct. We also talked about, we have now come to talk about the characteristics of plants, where we have been able to say these ones grow, they reproduce, they feed, they breathe, and then they excrete. As simple as that. So this is what we intend to talk about today, as simple as that. So I want to give a chance to those who may be having questions. If you have a question, please raise up your hand systematically. If you have a question, raise up your hand and I will give you opportunity to speak. Already 4 hands are up. Let me start with George. You unmute, then you speak. Then I'll respond to those questions later. Yes, George.
I didn't put up my hand.
But I see your hand up, then you put it, you make sure you put it down, you lower it. You lower your hand. Okay, let me hear from Aaron. Israel.
And we're going to have an exercise which we have to send on your WhatsApp number.
No. We shall have the exercise in the next lesson. However, even just the work, we need to see how nice the layout of the work, because some people write poorly, some write very well. So you can equally, even that work can be marked still, because some people don't copy very well, they misspell words like that. So make sure you write your work very well, and you can even submit it. There is no problem. John Baptist. John Baptist.
How do plants excrete?
Come again.
How do plants excrete?
Excrete. Okay. How do plants excrete? Good. Good question. We shall look at that.
Let's look at it now.
I will answer after. I want everyone to ask their question, then I can respond. Yes, Maurice? Maurice, I see your hand up. Please speak to us. Okay, meanwhile, Maurice is preparing. Let's hear from Harmony. Okay, Maurice is on already. Are you on? Okay. Harmony, can you ask your question? Yes.
Teacher, may you please send to me the work?
I'm going to send the work via WhatsApp for all of you. Those who have not finished, you'll get the work in WhatsApp. Okay.
What about Google Classroom?
Vedant, Rana, can you ask your question? Rana? Rana? I can't hear anything. Vedant? Okay. It seems that maybe I can give chance to Martina. Martina, any question? I see still your hand up.
Teacher.
Yes.
Both
Yes.
groups
Come again?
extract do both groups extract or it's one group.
When are you going to send us the work?
Please wait until I ask you to speak. You just raise up your hand and I'll give you a chance to speak. So someone was asking a question. Martina, can you repeat your question?
Do both groups extract or it's one group?
Both of them excrete. Both of them do excrete. Okay. Okay, I think Roshan, you wanted to say something. What is it?
When are you going to send us the work?
The work will be sent now via WhatsApp.
When are you?
Now. Joella? Joella?
How do plants reproduce?
How do plants reproduce? Good question. How do plants reproduce? Okay. How do plants reproduce? This is Joella. Good question. Okay, that's good. I see still someone's hand. Asante, I thought I finished you. Okay, let me know. There is Ruth. Ruth is the last person. Asante.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
What about Google Classroom? What about Google Classroom?
What about?
Google Classroom. Is it going to be sent there or no?
The what?
The work.
You send.
Where are we? Yes.
You send the work. Okay. Then lastly, Ruth, we have 2 minutes to. I have 2
Where
minutes
are you
to
going
answer.
to send us the work?
Okay, that's
Where
enough.
are you going to send us the work?
WhatsApp. I will
Where are you
send.
going?
I'm going to send via WhatsApp. That work. Okay, let me respond to this question. There are only two questions that are here. One, Roshan, can you please help us? Your music is affecting us. Okay, so someone was asking that how do plants excrete, or do plants or that the meaning of the word excrete? Excrete simply means a removal of waste products. So how do plants remove waste products? That's what we need to understand. How do plants remove waste products? Plants have got what we call stomata. Plants have got what we call stomata, which stomata they helps them to remove excess water in the leaves. Plants have got the stomata, which stomata helps them to remove waste products in their plants. And the waste products are just excess water. It is the excess water which is removed by plants. So that's what we call excretion. Excretion is removing waste products from the plants. Then for the case of Joella said, how do plants reproduce? Plants reproduce in different ways, depending on their group. For the case of
Teacher.
please
Teacher.
listen, I'm still speaking. We say that for plants reproduce in different ways. For flowering plants reproduce by means of seeds. All the flowering plants you see, those ones reproduce by means of seeds. Then for
Can't hear your screen.
Teacher, I can't see your screen. I can't see your screen. Teacher, I can't see your. Teacher, I can't see.